Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Today we are going to discuss about the post-installation configuration, how to change the parameters. Then we are going to discuss about little bit about users and authorization roles. We will cover these two topics. And I will add one more topic, monitoring topic. Monitoring, because basis consultant main task is monitoring task. After installation, what we have to do? You are able to. After installation of SAP system, we have to perform some run the T codes to check. First, we have to check the consistency. Check consistency of system running SICK. Like when you go to the doctor and doctor is going to check you whether you are well or not. Well, you are sick or not sick. First, we have to run the sick transaction code. First sick transaction will let us know whether there is a inconsistency problem or not. Then I will show you each other task. Then we have to apply the license. Apply license. We have to apply the license. We can use this transaction code. License. Everything is T code here. Apply the license. After installation, we have to apply the license because we have to request for the license and then we have to apply the license. S license is the T code with this. We are going to apply the license. We have to create client. We can create client. Like we can create client as. We can run the T code. SCC4 to create the client. Then we can change parameters. As per our company requirement, we have to change the parameters. For changing the parameters, we can run the transaction code 11 Zeven and Artan. And then we have to create users. Create users. We can create users using transaction code as user1. We can create roles using transaction code PFCG. All these things we are going to see today. We have to check the consistency of the system. Applying the license. Create the client. Changing the parameter. Create the users and create the roles. These are the tasks we are going to see today and we are going to cover the users and authorization also. When we are going to install the SAP system, we get 3 months time to apply the license. We have to request the license. We can request the license from a SAP site. And we have to tell to SAP that this is our system. ID system instance number server detail to SAP. SAP will give it license in a form of text file. Now we have to run a SICK code to check the consistency. What it is saying? Initial consistency check. No errors reported. SICK is the T code. You are going to check whether it is. That is the task we did. Then we have to apply the license. If there is any error, it will list, is it? Yes, it will come here. Consistency error. Less license is saying that I have installed on 16th May. It is valid for 90 days. Temporary license is activated. You are able to see. It is valid for 3 months. It is valid. In between, I have to request for a license. How to request? We can go to support SAPcom site. And there we can apply for the license. Request for the keys here. Are you able to see? Request for the keys, but it requires user ID and password. You cannot request the keys for like you are working for the GHC company. You cannot request the keys for Aramco, Saudi Aramco or Indian Oil Corporation or Boeing or other. You can request the keys for your own organization data. That is why you have to log in and then you can request for the keys. You have to log in with your SUser ID. You have to tell to SAP what is the system ID, what is the server, what is the instance number. SAP will give you a text file. After getting a text file from SAP, you can install the keys here. To install the keys, we can request the license keys on Marketplace. After getting the license keys, you can import the license keys. Install new license. This option here. It will ask for the text file. The text file that you got it from SAP, you can just install here. You can just select that file and it will install the license keys. Very simple way. The text file will appear and the original license will be showing here. Yes, you just license will be in the text format. That text file, you will get it from the email account. And you download that to the server and then you can select this file and then you can implement. In this way, we can apply the license. License, then create the client. By default, we got 2 clients. By default, we got 2 clients. And 1001. 1000 we cannot do anything. 1000 is known as reference client. If customer don't want to create client, they can work in 1001 client. Suppose SAP is giving 2 clients by default and 1001. If customer don't want to create a new client, they can work in 1000. The 1000 client cannot be used for productive purpose. 1000 client is known as reference client. Whenever we have to apply the support packs or any configuration related things we have to do in 1000 client. Like we have to set up the transport and other things. We are going to do in 1000 client. 1000 client. Whatever settings we do in 1000 client, it is going to reflect in all clients. Suppose your GSC have the operation in Qatar as well as in Saudi also. GSC want 100 client to be set up for UK. Suppose they have the operation in UK also. We can set up the new client using the transaction code SCC4. By default, we are having 2 clients. In SCC40 code, we can see we are having 2 clients and 1000. These are the 2 default clients. When we are going to install the SAP system, we have got 2 default clients, 100 and 1001. If customer don't want to create client, they can directly work in the 1000 client. Mean. But suppose customer want have subsidy in different countries. They want to set up a new client for each of the country. They can create using SCC4. It is not mandatory activity, but it will depend on the customer requirement. We can create a new client also. I am going to create a new client. New entry. Client number 100. City London. Logical system currency EU GBP. Client role. Whether testing client, suppose this role of client would be testing. You will be having a testing team in UK. We can make the client here. Now the client is created. Whenever we are going to now we will be having SCC4. We are having 3 client in TRN system. 1001 and 100 client. But can you log in into 100 client? Because you are the employee of GSC Qatar, that is 1001. You cannot log in here. If you want to log in, I have to create your user ID into GSC UK. Your user IDs are specific to the client. You have seen how to create client is fine, able to. Now, after that, we have to change the parameters. To change the parameters, we can use this one. An ASIC in code. Suppose how many sessions I can open. Right now you are able to see my screen. How many sessions I can open? Now you can see here, I am having only one session here. Now I am trying to open many sessions. Next session, you can open from here. This icon here. One more session I have opened. I have 2 sessions open. Now I will open a new session. I will open another 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 session. Another session. How many maximum session I can open? I am just trying to do that activity. What it is saying? Are you able to read what it is saying? Maximum number of SAP GUI session. Maximum number of SAP GUI session reached. How many sessions are opened? An individual user can open. It is maximum 6 sessions individual user can open. Right. I want to increase this limit. I want to increase it to 8 or 10. Because I am a multitasker, I will be doing multiple tasks simultaneously. I can open multiple sessions and I want to reduce the number. I can reduce the number. I want to because in this way, if a user is having multiple sessions, it is going to consume lot of memory. You can run the transaction code A-load8. I am logging with user ID. You can see how many sessions a DDIC user has opened. Are you able to see how many sessions a DDIC user have opened? 6 sessions it has opened. It means he is consuming memory high. Are you able to see? DDIC is consuming how much memory? B. This, if I am having multiple sessions opened, it means I am consuming lot of memory to the system. We have to restrict this value. A user could not open multiple sessions, or it can open multiple sessions, but a limited number of maybe 2 or 3. He cannot open 20. We can change the parameter. To change the parameter, we can run the transaction code R11. In R11, we can change the parameter. The parameter to restrict the session. You can check what is the parameter name. Either you can search in Google or you may be having remember what is SAP. This is the parameter. Arithmetic mode. You can use the parameter RDS MAXLT mode to restrict the maximum number of external sessions a user is allowed to open in one login. I will copy this parameter. Go to Razi 1 and code. Put it here and display. Are you able to see? Minimum value is 2, maximum a user can open 16 sessions. And right now the default value is how much? I am going to change. I am going to make it to 3. I am going to make it to 3. I am making it now 3 sessions. A user cannot open more than 3 sessions. Changes have been made. Now I will log off and try to again log in, and then I am going to log off. Now again going to log in into SAP system. We can change the parameter as per our requirement. We can change the DDIC. Now I will try to open session. Second session. From here I can open the session. Now I am having 2 sessions opened. Here it is showing TR. In bracket it is showing 2 sessions are open. Now trying to open another session. Now it is a 3 session. Now again I am going to open a new session. Are you able to see? You got a message that maximum number of GY session reached. Earlier it was 6 session is coming. We can restrict the number of sessions to the user. We can change the parameters. Now we will see how to create the users and roles. Now we will see how to create the users and roles. These are the some post installation tasks. You have to check the consistency, apply the license, create the client, change the parameter, create users and roles. Now we will discuss about how to create the users and roles in SAP system. First, we are going to discuss about how to create the users in SAP system. We can create the users in SAP system using SULA1T code. You can see here. Now I am going to create a user ID with my ID, and then you have to create a user ID with your name also. Now I am going to demonstrate how to create a user ID. To create the user ID, we can run the transaction code as SULA1. You are able to see my screen, right? You see here. Then I have to type the new username. Now I am going to create a user ID with my name Sanjay. And then this is a create button. I am creating a user ID with Sanjay name. It is saying that no default company address has been maintained in the system. Create an address. Company name is not maintained here. Only this is one time. This is one time I am just creating because I have not created other users' time zone. Now user Sanjay. Some important things when we are going to create the user ID. Last name is mandatory. Other things you can leave. Last name is mandatory. Last name is mandatory. And then you have to go to the login data. In login data, you have to specify the user type. We have 5 types of users in SAP. Dialog, user system, user communication, user reference user, and service user. Only dialog and service user can log in into the SAP system. If you make as a dialog user have to change the password, while service user need not to change the password. Dialog user have to change the password when he log in into the first time. Service user no need to change the password. I am going to create a service user, no need to change the password. And I give it password India 70%. Then after login data, I have to go to the role section here. Under role section, I can grant some roles. As per some predefined roles are there are thousands of predefined roles are there. Like SAP Basis Administrator, SAP PP Administrator, SAP Finance Controller, all the. Either you can see there are several predefined roles are there. Like SAP, suppose we will see. SAP System Administrator, SAP System Administrator. We can use this predefined role or we can create role by ourselves and we can grant this role to the user. From here we can grant the role. I am granting this role to this user. System Administrator role, and I am granting the authorization profiles. Under profiles, when I give SAP SQL, all it means full authorization. Role is role contain the menu item as well as authorization, while profile contains the authorization. I have granted this as a menu item. What is the menu item which will be coming in the basis, admin and profiles? He can perform all the tasks. After that, we have saved this user. User ID got created. Now user ID Sanjay got created. Sanjay, sorry to interrupt you. This under role, which are the, we call it as activities or T codes. The user has access as part of system administrator. How do we see that? See, there are several predefined roles are created by SAP. Understood. SAP Basis Administrator. We map that to a particular user. Now SAP Basis Admin has this role. How many different activities or menu items are included as part of this? How do we go and see? Yes, that's why I am telling you. When you have granted that, we will cover next topic. We have not covered the role. Next topic, we are going to cover the role also. I will cover the role also. I am trying to create first user ID. First you try to create the user ID. You should understand how to create the user ID. Later on, I am going to tell you how to create a role and we are going to include the roles there. First you try to create the user ID. We have created a user ID. Even you don't give any role. You just go to the profile section. Under profile section you go and you grant SAP _all profile. This is a predefined profile that contains all system authorization. After that, when I have granted this one, the user ID got created. Now I can log in into the SAP system using user ID Sanjay. Sanjay password India 75. Enter. I was mistyping. Now I am able to log in as a Sanjay. So, this is the menu item. Are you able to see the menu item? Yes, and this menu item is coming from the role. This menu item is coming from the role. If I have not granted this role, user will not be having the menu item. But he can perform all the tasks because he is having the full authorization, which is given to him. Now I am going to run ALO8 and we can see which users are logged in. Now you can see Sanjay is also logged in. Sanjay Didik user 3 is logged in. Now you can try to create a user ID. I am going to document how to create the user ID. You can try to create a user. After that, I will explain how to create the roles and profiles. Sanjay, is it possible to create a user ID for different client? Yes. You have to log in into particular client. Only then you are going to create a user ID. You cannot create a user ID of Sanjay from 1001 client to 100 client. You have to log in into that client. Suppose we have a system TRN system here. You have to understand like this. You are able to see my screen, right guys? I have created here only in Zalan1 client. Got. I cannot create the Sanjay user ID in 100 client from 1001. To create the Sanjay user, I have to log in into 100 client and then I can create the user ID in 100. Got. User IDs are specific to the client. Whenever we log in into wherever we are running the T code sudo 1, the sudo 1 we are running in 1001 client. We can create a user ID in 1001 client, not in 100 client, not in 1000 client. Now you have to do the task. I will document the task. You can perform the task. Create a user. Send. How are we going to create user ID to new client if there are no user ID? Very good question you have asked. For new client, we have to log in with special user SAP star and password is pass. Your question is very good question. Right now, I have created a new user. What was my user ID? I have created a new client. You are able to see my screen right. Now I want to log in into 100 client. You are absolutely right. 100 client doesn't have how to log in into 100 client. To log in into 100 client, we have to use users app star and we have to use password pass. But it is not reflecting. It means SAP has made secure. We have to log in into the new client with SAP star and password pass. But this parameter has not been enabled. I have to enable this parameter. To enable this parameter, I have to go to AZKNT code and enable this parameter. I have to change the parameter value. The parameter value says that I will show you what is the parameter value I have to change. Some parameter doesn't require the restart. Some parameter require the restart of the system. Yesterday you were asking why we should restart the SAP system. To change this parameter, we have to restart the system. We can change the parameter using these two T codes. These are the T codes. Change parameter. You are able to see this is dynamic parameter. No need to restart. No need to restart. Like just now, we have changed the number of session. But to change the parameter static parameter, we have to change from static parameters. We have to change it from AZKNT code. I am going to use AZKNT code. It is still running. We are going to use RZTIN and you said that how to log in into the new client. To log in into new client using user SAP star and password passes. Are you able to see? To log in into the new client, we can log in into new client with user id, SAP star and password pass. But parameter login no. Automatic user SAP star should be disabled. Got. This parameter is not allowing us to log in as a SAP star. Login no automatic user SAP star. We have to disable this parameter. This is a static parameter. It means to enable this parameter, we have to restart the system. We are going to see these things. Still running. I have to change some values there. Then it is going to be effective. Change the values in default profile. I have to mention the parameter. The parameter name would be login. No automatic user SAP star. It is saying the value is equal to 1. Are you able to see value n? Value 1 showing that it is enabled. It means you cannot log in with user SAP star. I am going to disable this value. Parameter value zone. I am disabling. 1 means enable, or means disable. I am disabling this value. After disabling this value, I am going to save the changes. Save again. Do you want to activate the profile? Are you able to read what is written here? Can you read? It says you have to restart the application server for changes to take effect. Right. The effect of activating a profile simply means the profile is stored at OS level. For the profile to take effect for a particular application server, we have to restart the application server. But before restart again, I can try. One more time, I can try here. I have opened the session. I will use SAP star password pass. Not able to log in. I am not able to log in. What I have to do, I will now exit from all the screens. Or without exiting. Also, we can just start the system automatically. We will get the error. How to start Stop SAP system? What is the tool name? See. Microsoft Management Console. You open the Management Console. I have done for TN system. Tenant. Right click. Restart. The user. Aim. Cities. Admin. And I have to give the password. This is the user we set up, right? For start and startup, stop yesterday. Admin. Correct. Admin. We have not set up. It is automatically installed. Set up the user ID. Admin. TM. Yes. Yesterday we have installed the GSC system. GSC ADM is installed automatically created. Correct. TRN means earlier what? Whatever system ID. The user ID would be SAP ADM. Understood. Whatever is this ID, that will be the 3-letter CD, correct? Yes, 3 CD, then ADM would be there. Now I am trying to start the system. Oh, now I think problem. Now starting. It takes some time. 2-3 minutes it takes at least. When everything is green up, then it is now green. Everything is green. Now we will try to log in into client 100. Client 100, we don't have any user. We will go with SAP star and password PSS. Pass. Now you can see I am able to log in into client 100. Now when I am going to type error 8, I can see how many users are logging into client 100. Client 100, no user is logging. Only P star is logging. I want to see how many users are there in client 100. I can run a report to see through it. Yesterday we have run a report as user 200. It will show all the users in a particular client. We don't have any user ID. We don't have any user ID here. We don't have any user ID in this client because we have not created any user ID. Got. Now you have to create a user ID in TRN system. Now you just log in into the. Now you can log in into the TRN system. Client 100 only. TRN system. Client or clients all in one with your user club user 4. You log in into TRN system. Clients all one with your user ID 124 with password. And go to C1. Go to 01. Type your name. Type your name. And create. Create button. Similar to paper. Similar to paper symbol. You just type your name there and then there is a create button. You create this one. And then you fill the mandatory entry. Fill mandatory entries. Mandatory entries are last name. Last name is mandatory. Password. And profile. Under profile tab, you give the profile tab, you give SAP underscore. Full authorization. You try to create 2 users. You try to create 2 users. You type your name dot. Type your name dot. And create button. And you create this kind of thing. Type your name dot. User type here to do types. User. Dialog user. Here you type. Service user. Service user. And last name. User type. These data will be coming under different tabs. Last name will come under. I just mentioned here also. Whenever you are going to session 1. And now I am going to create a user Sanjay here. Create button. This is the create button. Create button. It is saying that I just log in into. are inclined. Otherwise, you have to again create the company and other those things. I'm just logging into client. Now I want to create GCS create. Last name under address and under login data. Under address tab. Last name. And this user type and password comes under. This data will come under login. Under login tab. And this profile will come under profile tab. Profile will come under profile tab. And then you have to fill this information. You have to create two users. One is service user. Dialog. And you have to then log in with both users. Log. System. System. Learn with both. And observe. Difference. Between a normal user. Difference between dialog and service user. And service. Got it? You have to create two types of users. In this exercise, you can create the two types of users. C1 is a T code. You can do it. And let me know if anybody having any problem. "10 minutes for this activity." 3. And you first try to create, and if facing any problem, let me know. In this way, you will be able to create the user ID. And then we will discuss about the profiles and authorization. First, you try to create this. Guys, completed. Able to understand the difference between dialog user and service user. I'm audible, guys. Yes, I was able to create two user ID. You see my name. Are you able to log in with those IDs? And are able to understand what is the difference between normal dialog user and service user or the dialog user? On my initial login, there's a new password required. It requires me to change password, and then for the service, it did not require me to change password. User the initial password which you have created, it was initial password. Service user can be used for multiple users. Whatever the password is created during initial time, it will be effective. That is the difference between normal dialog and service users. Right. Now I will go to the next topic, that is any question. When you are creating service user, the user ID should be generic. A generic like for your whole group. You are like in IT support. You can create a IT support group, ID kind of thing. In case of any problem is coming, that will be having very minimum authorization. Very basic authorization. Not full authorization. They can unlock the user ID. Suppose your ID got locked, then at least you can log in with the IT support group ID and then you can unlock your ID. But Sanjay, is there a way wherein I can determine who is the particular user uses this service ID? User uses it because whenever you are going to log in into the system, you have to use the user ID. For example, we are using 3 of us using service ID. Same ID. We are using same ID. But how can I determine that the job was done by the user 1? Then you cannot differentiate. You can differentiate only in that case using the terminal. Suppose you are working from computer number A. He is working from computer number B, computer number C. Then they can differentiate, but otherwise whatever the user ID. Suppose we have created user 2 or user 3. Everybody is going to use user 3. You cannot differentiate here, but you can differentiate with the client machine. User 1 is working from computer A, user 2 is working from computer 2, and user 3 is working from computer 3. Then you can see the client host. With that you can differentiate. Good. Got it? Because everybody is using the same user ID. That user ID system. It is going to show the user ID same, but with the client machine it is showing to the different. Somebody is using machine A, machine B, machine C. You can differentiate from where it is logged. But here it is showing everyone is training because everyone is logged in here. Everyone is logged in here. That's why it is showing training client here. Got it? We move to the next task. Now what you can do? You can try to log in 5 times incorrect log on. Suppose I try to log in with Sanjay user ID. Sanjay user ID is here, right? Are you able to see Sanjay user ID? I am going to just log off again. Again log off. Now I will try to log in with Sanjay user ID. Let's see what happened. Sanjay, I type incorrect password. 1. Second time. And third time. What will happen? When I type third time incorrect password, what happened? When I type third time, what happened? Session out. Right? Session out or account log. No, not account log. Session out. Now I will again go to here. Now I will attempt fourth time. Fourth time incorrect password. Fifth time incorrect password. Now what? Now, sixth time I am going to use the password. What it is saying? Are you able to see? What it is written downside? Password no longer possible. Too many. Now the account is logged. Now the account ID is logged. It means at 3 sessions, if you type 3 times incorrect password, the session will be logged out. And 5 times, if you type incorrect password, then your account will be logged. How to verify this information? Now Sanjay cannot log in because Sanjay ID got logged. You have to request to the administrator to unlock the Sanjay user ID. Now I will show you how to unlock the user ID. I will log in with different user ID. Go to soup. I can type Sanjay. Are you able to see this button? Lock unlock button. Able to see. Now I am going to show this one. What it is saying. What message? Sanjay ID got logged due to incorrect login attempts. I can use this button. Got. This will unlock the Sanjay user ID. Now unlock. Now the Sanjay user ID got unlocked. And everything is parameter. Everything is the parameter. Now we can see the parameter. We can go to the 11. We can parameter login star. In login star, we can see the parameter. How the face to user log. When a user ID got logged, what is the face to user log? Are you able to see? How many values they given here? Are you able to see this value? It means if I use a 5-time incorrect password, it will ID will be locked. We can change it. We can make it to further 100, 10, 20, 15. We can change these values also. Everything is configurable. Some settings are. As a basis consultant, you have to change these values as per your company requirement or company policy. Got. You can make more secure as well as more vulnerable your system. And most of the times guys are just doing a 01. And they are just unlock the user ID. Maybe sometime. Now Sanjay forget the password. You can change the password also. This button is change the password. You can change the password for Sanjay. It's very simple activity. That's why I was telling you that you can learn the basis in 10-15 hours. Because you guys are experienced guys. It's like real time things we can discuss. Now the thing is, you have to practice. You have the 24/7 servers available. You can practice, you can see the different ways, and you can ask the questions if you are not able to understand something. Sanjay, is it possible to change the login attempts for particular users? Yes, it is possible to like individual for users also. One is, if you are going to maintain it is global policy. It is general for everyone. But suppose you want to specify an individual. I want to use for Sanjay user only. That is in advanced user administration. I can. When I am going to create a Sanjay user, I can create a policy. Are you able to see the security policy here? I can mention the security policy. I can create individual policy for individual group of users. Like for management users, there is a different policy. For management users, different policy. For IT people, different policy. For sales people, different policy. Then I can create a policy and then I can assign the different policy for different user. If I am not going to assign the policy journal, policy is applicable for everyone. That was our user topic. Now we will discuss about ending user. That is another very important thing. Sometimes URM user information management. In this UIM, you can see when a user login At what time, who created a user ID, everything you can see from here. It is like ocean. User information system. Here we have all the like. I want to understand which user is having SU1T code. Which user is having SU1T code? I can go here user with complex selection criteria. Users by transaction authorization. I want to understand which users are having SU1T code authorization. I will just type SU1. It will show me all the users will be having the SU1T code. Sanjay SAP star user 1, 2, 3, 4. Only will be created. Other users have not created the user ID. Maybe if you are busy later on, you can create the user ID. Because until or unless you are not going to perform the task, you will forget. If you did one time the activity, you will always remember. It is very, very easy to remember that. Now we will discuss about authorization roles. How the roles are going to work and how the authorization is going to work in SAP system. Sanjay, regarding to the SUM, is it possible to extract all the users, including their roles? Yes. All the users you can see here. If you just go back here, users by address data, users by user ID, users by complex selection criteria. If I say user by user data, address data, I don't fill any name here. It will display all the users. It will display all the users. There are 7 users in client 1001. And then I can export it to Excel sheet or spreadsheet or like in doc format or PDF format. I can export. SUM is very, very informative T-code. With that, you can display all the information related to users and authorization. Thank you. Now we will see the authorization security. We will see the authorization in SAP. Now we will see the authorization. For authorization, we have some terms. We have to first understand those terms. First is object class. Then we are having another term known as authorization object. First we are having object class. Second term we are having authorization object. Then third term is we are having authorization field. Authorization field. And fourth term is we are having authorization. And fifth field is profile. And sixth field is role. And we got user. We have the user ID also. User, we can grant user a profile. A user can contain profile also. A user can contain the role also. User can contain both things. User can contain role as well as profile. Now we come to this very, very basic concept. What is object class? Object class is like group of object. Like, suppose you want to protect sales order. Sales order is your object that you want to protect. Sales order is your object that you want to protect. Sales order comes under SD class, sales and distribution. Now, under sales order, we are having two fields. One field is company. Company code. Another field is activity. This authorization object, suppose sales order contains two fields, company code and activity. Whatever values you are granting here, it is known as authorization. If I say company code is equal to 1 is for India, 1 for India. And activity is 3. Display. This is one authorization. This is one authorization. Another authorization is Zolo 2. Cut. In other activity Zoo 2 you can create also. I am having two authorization. 1 to row 2. I am having a profile. I just name a profile. I just make a profile, something like profile. This profile is a combination of multiple authorization and profile plus. Profile plus menu item. Make a role. This is the complete flow of how the authorization is going to work. You can create a profile. You can create a role. Role will be having the menu item. Profile will not be having the menu item. Profile is just authorization. Authorization is what? Whatever the field values have been assigned to a particular field, then it is known as authorization. We can create roles and profiles using transaction code PFCG. We can create roles. Roles and profiles can be created by PFCG. Roles and profiles can be created by this PFCG. Able to understand any question? Then I am going to show you how to create role and profile. Nothing on my side. Nothing. I am going to show you how to create a role. I go to transaction code. Able to see my SAP screen. PFCG. In PFCG, I will type the role name. I am creating a role name. Test role. Then create this button. Create single role. Description. Something. Then menu item. What would be in the menu of this role? What would be the menu of this role? The menu. I have to decide what would be the menu. In this we will be having some transaction code. It will be having some URL. I say it will be having some URLs. Web address. It will be having Google.com. Text is Google.com. Web address would be happy Google.com. Like this, it will be having a menu item. Google. It will be having a transaction code. You can include lot of things from here. You can add the Fiori tile also. You can add the Fiori tile. A transaction code. It will be having a transaction code. Like this. This will be the menu item. In menu, when I assign this role to particular user, ID user will be having the menu. But what is the authorization? Authorization is a combination of profiles. We will come here. Authorization tab. Then we have, you can see here. Do you have any profile name here? Are you able to see any profile name here? It's blank. We have to generate the profile. We can go here, change authorization data. Then generate the profile. Generate the profile. The profile name is this come. Automatically it will come. Or you can make your own profile. Then generate the profile. Now the profile has been generated and you can see here the color is green. Menu item and authorization is green. Now our test role has been created. Test role has been created. Now I will create a test user. I will create a test user and I will grant this test role to the test user. I am creating a test user. Test user. Create. Then grant. It is saying the initial password is now. Test user is created. Now, when I am going to use the test user to log in, test user will be having the menu item as per the role granted to this user. Are you able to see the menu item? We have created a Google account work process overview of job selection, started as instance. Like this, they will be having. Cut. Now you can also create a role and generate the profile, and you can do the hands-on. I am grant like any question. Now I will assign the task to you. Your user ID is what? Null. then edit. Role name is test role. Save it. But it will not automatically come. You have to log off and then you log in. Then you are able to see the role. You will be having the Google link. Earlier in the menu item, like here, in the menu item, you will be having the Google link. Earlier, you were not able to see that. You have to log off again and log in. Then you will be able to see. This is the authorization. How the authorization is going to work in SAP. Very simple but very complicated when we are having thousands of objects or million of objects. Because when you are going to real life scenario, there will be million or billion of authorization objects to understand, to segregate the defense. There is a very big team's work in security. Some organization there will be having 100, 200, 500 consultants only for SAP security. But the concept is only this one. If you are able to understand this concept, object class authorization, object have the field. Whatever the values assigned to those field is known as authorization. Multiple authorization makes a profile. Profile plus menu item makes a role. Either profile or role can be granted to the user. Profiles and roles can be created from the transaction code TFCJ. Now you can do the hands-on. Because hands-on very important. You try to create a ABAP role in TIAN system client. Role is also specific to the roles are also specific to the client. You have created a role in 1001 client, 100 client or whatever client. First you have to go to the PFCJ T code. Type your name and in the role name you can create with your name. And then create name.role. Create button similar to the paper symbol and then you have to in menu item. Add web address like google.com and transaction codes like M50. After that PFCJ edit. Here two sections are important. One is menu item, another is authorization. In menu item tab, in menu item tabs, add web address like Google and transaction codes like this one. Then in authorization tab, generate a profile. Save your role and grant this role. Save your role. Grant this role to your username in Suite1 T code. Log off and log in. And observe the menu item of yours. Now you got google.com would be there in your class. You can try to perform this. Guy is able to create the role, different types of roles. Same way, if I want to see how many roles are there, we can see the roles also from SUIMT code. SUIMT code is very important T code. With that T code, we can find any information. Now I want to see how many roles are there. We can see same way like roles. Here we can see the roles. Roles by name. Is it possible to check roles created within between period of time? Yes, everything is possible. You can see when the role was created. You want to see the role by. Yes, you can see. Roles language shown text. You can see the complete information would be there. Object by field name. Your queries. You want to see when today's created role right. Yes, I am trying to see. A. Today teen. Change since. I want to see today's. I just mentioned here, changed since. Means when the role got changed. Change means new role has been created. We can see. We have only 3 roles created today. Got. In different way. Getting my point. Not exact your query answer, but the query get answered in this way. We have tried to find whatever changes happened from 17th. Till 17th means today. In today, you created Nelba role. I created these 2 roles, right? Is it possible to have a role and inside that role, we will insert another set of roles? We can have a parent role or a group of roles. Right? We can do like you can go to Perfect. We can have a composite role also. You want to nest it. Now I am creating a test role 1. In test role 1, I want to include another role. That is your query. We can create a composite role here. Composite role. Composite role is a combination of multiple roles. If I create a composite role, then it is going to ask which role you want to add. Getting. I can specify test role. I am creating test role 1. Test role 1 is going to having test role plus menu item. Apart from this, I can add additional thing. Earlier I was having additional activities I can mention here like transaction code or other empties. That is possible. Thank you, Sanjay. Or we can inheritance also. Inheritance means parent-child kind of relationship. Inheritance means it is taking everything from the parent. But it can just verify some of the things that you can specify. You can do the inheritance also. Inheritance hierarchy. You can see what are the things you are going to copy from the parent role. Change document for roles. Everything you can find it from here. Role name. Suppose I say it is going to like, suppose I want to understand test role. Who created test role? At what time? What attributes you have added? Everything you can find here. The test role created on 18/5/23. This time temp5/2. User. He used this transaction code. What he did? He changed some attributes. He created roles. Role description, attributes transaction, added authorization data. You can find each and everything. Who is going to like, who created the role, who changed the role, who is editing who assigned the role. Then DIC assigned this role using transaction code CO1 to the test user. This is under COIM or. Under COIM you can see change document for roles. Here you can see like for Nelby. What was your role name? Now we will try to find null by role created by user 3. User 3 created this role. Create role. Role description you have defined. Then you have changed the authorization profile and role assignment for the user. From PFCG, you have assigned the role to the user. You assigned role to the user. Both ways possible. From SU1 also you can assign or you can assign from the PFCG. Both is possible. How can you assign? We have covered today post-installation activities configuration, how to change parameter. I will write the T code also. RZ10. It will be easy to remember you guys. RZ11. Change the parameter. Post-installation and configuration. Users we created using transaction code SULA1. Authorization roles you created using PFCG and you have seen SUIM User Information Management System. And in post-installation configuration, some of the T codes that you have seen, like you have seen SIK consistency check. You have seen S license T code. You have seen SCC4 to client create. Stop by SIDA DMEM. This would be the master document. Even you will be able to. A SAP server post-installation task and configuration. SK's license CC4 you created the client. You changed the parameter using RZ10 and 11. Then RZ10 for static parameter and RZ11 for dynamic parameter. That doesn't require the restart. Then today we discussed about users, how to create the users. We have 5 types of users. Dialog user, service user. Only dialog and service user can log in. Other users cannot log in. Then we have discussed the PFCG SIAM. Next session we are going to see monitoring task proactive. Monitoring, how you have to monitor the system. We will see the transport management also. We will see. Then database administration, task fetching. Today we discussed these things. We discussed post-installation task configuration, changing parameters, how to create users' roles, profiles, and user information management. And finally, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.